Hi, welcome to Matrix. We're going to talk about adding and editing a listing today. Up here on your Matrix homepage, you can always scroll down to the My Listings section to find your listings if you need to edit one, or if you have one that's incomplete. I don't have any listings in the test database, so I don't have anything listed here. If you did, you could click on them, and then you'd have a choice to click on Edit on your own listings. For today, I'm going to come up here under Add Edit right up top in Matrix. Click on that, and I'll have access to either add or edit listings or roster. For roster, I can only edit my own ID, and I could add a photo of myself that would come up if people search for me in the roster. For listings, you can either add a new one or add an existing one. If I had listings, they would be showing right here. And I could toggle to one of them to edit it if you need to update some of the data in it today. To add a new one, there's only one choice. Click on Add New. I'm going to click on Single Family Input. And then we have a few choices here. We can fill from Realist Tax, fill from Tax, copy from existing listing, or start with a blank listing. If your property that you're listing is not in one of these counties, that means you should start with a blank listing. Otherwise, you should start with one of these counties, and it'll auto-populate some of the data right from the tax record. There's two ways to do it. One's fill from Realist Tax, which is right on this screen. If you pick a county and the address, it'll pull it right into the listing. The other one's fill from Tax. It really does the same thing, but it looks a little different. I'm going to go over there and just put in the address of the board. So I'm going to say 353 Main Street. I could go ahead and look for that, but because Main Street's in every single town in the land, I'm going to go ahead and over here and type in the county, Otsego County, and then do my search. So on the bottom, I'm clicking search. I'm finding that address, which is the Board of Realtors, making sure I got the right one, clicking fill. And it's going to go in here and fill in a bunch of my listing for me. So the county, the proper address, the area where the taxes are paid, it'll automatically know that from the tax record. And then if I look down here at my tax map number, I can see that first 6 characters is the municipality where I pay my taxes, and that's the area it put in for me from that tax record. From the area, it figures out that it's the city of Oneonta. There's not a village in this case. I can come in here and fill in the postal city. Sometimes it'll fill in, and I'm just typing until I find the right one, or I could have used this great big pick list here. There's always a pick list to the right. But it's long, it's got all the postal cities. And then basically for add edit, you're just going to go through and fill all these prices and fields in. You can tab through them if you like to make sure you hit them all. Like here, I need to put the street. Oh, the street type is filled in for street. If there was a pre and a post direction, you could fill them in. Or you can just hit a field with your mouse and type it in. Like, I don't know what the nearest cross street is, but I'm going to say it's Spruce Street, and so on. If when you pull in data, by chance there's a decimal in the lot dimension, you do need to take that out or it won't let you save. We're working on getting that corrected where it should round for you and not include a decimal. But basically every single thing that's yellow is required on your data input form. There would be a little red R indicating that it was required, so it shouldn't be a surprise to you. You should have known that, and so you'll have that information. Sometimes the year built will come in from the tax records. Otherwise, you're going to need to know that. Some of these other fields you're just going to fill in as you go. The school district will usually populate, which is nice too. Otherwise, you could always click on the pick list and find all the school districts. Once you have the county filled in up here, it starts narrowing down a lot of these pick lists. So once you have the county, just the areas in the county will show, just the towns in the county will show, just the school districts in the county. So it narrows down from the whole state of New York, and that helps quite a bit. When you're ready to go, you can go on to the next tabs, and these are just all the different sections on your data input form. I'm just going to bring to your attention, before you either save as incomplete, validate, or submit your listing, it's going to tell you it's not found on the map. All you need to do is read the top here, but click this update map button, and it'll look at your address and make sure if your map is correct or not. If you're not quite sure, you can click to set the latitude and longitude manually, and it'll kind of zoom in a little for you and show you, oh, I'm zooming with my mouse. Yeah, that looks about right. You could always turn on your satellite view if you really wanted to see, oh, yep, it's right there on the roof. That's our location. I could see Pine Street was the nearest cross street, and I could update my listing to say that. If I move the pin on the map, I can do that and just click place a new pin, and it'll update that for us. And then I can just say done. And so now that list that is updated. If you want to take a peek at the Google Street View, I think I already corrected it for this address, but you can, if this is blue, you can click on it and just get a picture of what the Google car took a picture of for this property. And now I can see that we need to fix it still. So you can just drag the photo and find it. That's actually Pine Street. So we got to go to this, not so good, down the block, around the corner, so we can actually get a front view of this property. They didn't do such a good job on this one. So I'm getting there. There's our board office. And once I get it how I want it, I can just say, okay. And it'll fix that Google Street View for us, so that when somebody clicks on it on our listing, that's what they'll see instead of that side street that we saw before. You can keep going through the tabs, filling things in. Once we get to showing time in a few weeks, you'll be able to put the word showing time in for the showing appointment number. Just type in the word showing time, which we'll teach you then. And then you'll just pick online showing service as the showing instructions. But in the meantime, put that phone number in and who they're going to contact and so on. You'll go through all these tabs. When you're ready to add the photos, you can save it as incomplete. But if you want to make sure you've hit all the required fields, you can always click on validate. So validate, I'm going to click on, will just tell you where you missed things. Okay, you missed the showing appointment number. It's basically going to look at every single blank required field and make you fill those in before you could either submit that listing or what. So I'm going to go back to the location as an example. It's telling me we missed the source of the square footage. Well, that came in from public records, so I'm going to pick that. And then the other thing I want to show you is, you know, right now we said this was not on the waterfront, and all these water related fields are not required. However, some of the fields are conditional. So conditional means if I change this to a yes, it is on waterfront, and then I go to validate again, guess what? Because I said yes, now this body of water description, name, water frontage, waterfront footage is required. So these water related fields are required. If it's a pond, you can say it's a pond. And if it's not listed in the body of water name, we're always going to have other on any pick list. So it's just a pond in the yard, you could pick other. Anytime we have a pick list that's required, we will almost always have either a none or an other. In this case, it wouldn't be none because you picked waterfront, yes. When you're ready to try and put the photos in or save it as incomplete, you have to go to an appointment. You can click on the bottom, save as incomplete. And then either come back later up under add edit. You could find your incomplete listing. After about 5 minutes, it'll also show on your home page. Might not be there yet, so I'll show it to you in a little bit. But once you have that listing in, you could then add your photos, your supplements. So adding the photos is as simple as finding the photos on your device. I'm not sure that I have any to download, but you would come here and grab some photos and put them in. And you could also put captions under each photo. I think it's 500 or more characters per photo. And once those are in, you could certify and save them, certifying that you have the right to use those photos. You can't borrow photos from anybody or use photos from a prior listing. You're certifying that you have the right to use them. So right now I'm not adding any, so I'm going to hit cancel. You could also manage your supplements. So that's your attachments. So you could come in here and name your supplement, come from your computer and choose one. Again, I don't really have one right now. And then pick your supplement type. What I want to point out is there's a list of all different kinds of supplements, but below that, you can start to see the list is the same exact list with the word public. So if you want the public to be able to see those supplements, for example, if another agent emails your listing out or anybody emails your listing out from our system, if you marked any of those supplements as public, their recipients could see the attachment too or supplement. So that's something good to know about. I'm not going to actually add one today. I'm just going to be here and hit cancel. And that's all there is to it. When it's time to make it active again, you could either come up here under add edit or go to the home page and find in the My Listings section. I'm going to refresh it right now and see if that, yeah. Then and find your incomplete listing. Here's the one I just added. So you could just come into that listing. By the way, it'll tell us how many days we can leave it as incomplete, which is 21. If you edit that listing in 5 days and save it again as incomplete, it'll restart at 21. Once you have your listing signed though, and it's time to go in, 21 days doesn't matter. You need to get that thing in. So you could come in here and either change it to active if it's ready to go. You could manage photos. You could manage supplements. You could add the open house. If you just need to update remarks or virtual tours, you could do that. You have choices. So that's it. I'm going to cancel out of it. And that's adding and editing. Again, we just started up top. If we went to my listings on the home page, which is right here, you can always see how many days are remaining for your incomplete listing, because I know some people start them ahead of time. And that's it. That's adding a listing. Good luck.